I am so excited to speak to our guest today. She's an RN in the aesthetic industry with over 10 years of experience and also a trainer. Please help me to introduce Sharon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sharon from Los Angeles. I'm a nurse injector. I have been injecting for a little bit over 15 years, actually. And I opened my own practice last year. So I'm about technically a year into it being on my own. So, yeah, excited to be here, Jonathan.
Amazing, amazing. I have so many questions for you, so let's jump right into it.
Hi, my name is Jonathan McLean, and I'm the founder and CEO of McLean Aesthetics.
Welcome to the dark side.
Let's go.
So, Sharon, you've been in the industry for so long, and I think you have so much great advice to give. How can you gain longevity in your career as an aesthetic injector?
Yeah, so be hungry to learn is
Yeah.
my best advice. And really, as an aesthetic injector, my best advice is invest in yourself, whether it be learning on your own or, just having a network of support around you that you can count on, and, just have keeping healthy professional relationships in the industry. It's such a small kind of niche crowd.
Yeah.
So, yeah, just keep it nice and clean. Have integrity, and really that's how you stay in this game for so long. But be hungry to
Yeah.
learn. Be hungry to learn. Always. Back then, it was like the wild, wild west. When I first started,
Mhm.
the reps would actually train the injectors, and no one talked about anatomy. It was just like inject right here and bam, wham, bam, thank you. It was all done. So I'm like, okay, thank God. I don't know how many occlusions I have that I wasn't even aware of, but I'm still around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so that was 15 years ago. So it certainly has the industry has changed a lot for the better.
So
It's a good
Botox
time to
was
start.
yeah, so
Mhm.
Botox was only invented around 20 years ago. So you started off pretty
Mhm.
early. Was there a lot of opportunities? Was it hard to get in?
No, well, I got lucky. It was back in 2007. I
Yeah.
actually found my very first job in a medical spa through Craigslist. Do you
Wow.
remember that? Are you old enough
Yeah.
to remember?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay. Okay. So, yeah, and I've always been interested. I took like, I forgot, it was like a little weekend course, like Botox lasers. And I was like, you know what? I really want to like get into this field. And I've always been interested in skincare and beauty. And yeah, so I got lucky. I found this position on Craigslist. It was a medical spa like corporation. They had different locations all over California. I was just blessed. They had a really good training, foundational training that they provided their injectors with. So I got lucky. Yeah, I got lucky.
Nice, 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 nice. What were some things earlier in your career or some pitfalls that you could have avoided, or looking back, you wish you would have avoided or could have avoided?
Oh, that's a good question. I think working in an office that is not healthy. I could have maybe left a little sooner.
Hmm.
That would be something that when I look back in retrospect, I was like, you know what, I wasn't happy in that place, and I should have left a long time ago. But sometimes we're put in situations that's out of our control, or you just kind of get comfortable, like you weren't really grow. It's not that I wasn't happy with the people were great. It wasn't like a toxic environment, but I wasn't growing as far as in my career. And I just you get like I said, you get comfortable, and that was probably one thing that I say, I should have moved on a long time ago.
No, I
Yeah.
get you. I get you. What are some warning signs, I guess, to look out for? Like, how do you know when it's time to leave and kind of move on to the next job?
When you feel stagnant, when you come to work, you don't feel excited. You kind of do the same thing repetitively over and over again. And also, if the office, if they're really, I call it educational value, where theirs don't align with you, because I wanted to introduce all these new things. For example, just like a basic microneedling treatment, but they were opposed to it. So just like little things like that, and I tell them, listen, I'm the nurse in the room treating the patients. So can I have my voice heard? And just um, I wanted to suggest certain things that we could add as services to really give patients a more synergistic effect, right? You want optimal results as far as their skin treatments, not just injectables. And they weren't open to that. So that's kind of like something that, a red flag for someone that is in that situation.
Yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. I could definitely understand that. So now
Mhm.
you worked for somebody and you went through your career, you kept working for people, and you
Mhm.
started your own business now. How hard was that? And tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so it was so I was exactly in that position where I was just like, you know what, it's time for a change. I've been around for so long. I have a good, strong patient following, and I was just ready. This was last year, and I was looking for options, right, to make as a life as a business owner easier. Um, and I found this platform which I thought, you know what, they can help me. Why not? It's my first time, it's my first rodeo being an entrepreneur. And it was just what I've learned really is, look over your contract and really ask questions, and understand what you're getting into. And business, owning your own business is a different hustle. And I was ready for that. I know that was going to be a challenge, but also it was fun. Um, Unfortunately, that professional relationship ended, due to some other factors that was not so positive. So now I'm with Portrait, who, just there is a platform that I use for my business, and it just really, they make my life easier as a business owner, because I can really just focus on patients and not worry about the other stuff, um, like paying the rent or ordering products. And I can just really say, okay, I have my patients are booked. I can just focus and treat them well, and and not worry about the other business side of things.
Oh wow, so that's super cool. So
Mhm.
they come in and kind of manage your practice.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm happy to give them a portion of my profit, just to less stress for me. And it's
Yeah,
really worked out well. As a matter of fact, I have a few friends that have done the same, and we're all happy to be with them. So
nice.
it's a really every time I tell someone this is it's like, what, like like, how does that work? It's so interesting. It's a brand new concept, and it's really true. They really help seasoned injectors like me, who's ready to fly on their own.
Wow,
Yeah.
super cool.
So
Definitely
yeah.
check that out, especially because you're recommending your provider yourself. So you guys are,
Hmm.
do they cover all areas? Are you familiar?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, I know you mentioned just a minute ago that make sure to read your contracts and agreements before you go
Hmm.
into. Is it essential to have a lawyer on your team from the beginning?
Yes, and this is kind of what I wanted to talk to you really about, is the bad, the good, and the ugly of aesthetics.
Yes.
I mean, it's not all bad, but yes, there's some that, I guess, again, these platforms are new to the industry, and some are more efficient than others, I've learned. Um, and uh, I was lucky too, though, that even when I say this, like, read your contract or have a lawyer on your side, um, I was able to get out of it,
Mhm.
without um, any discord. So yeah, it was but certainly was a journey. And I wanted to start fresh for the new year, for 2023, and I did it. I did the transition. And yeah, I'm happy.
For other injectors that are, for other people that are looking to get into this industry, what are some of the things that maybe they should watch out for, or as you would
Mm.
say, the bad of the industry?
I as a trainer, I visit a lot of other offices and I do meet a
Mhm.
lot of injectors. One thing I do have to say is I don't recommend as a new grad, whether it be an RN or PA, whatever. I wouldn't recommend getting into this so fresh out of school.
Mhm.
I would say get a little bit of, hospital background maybe for a year or two, and then figure it out, see if you really want to go into aesthetics.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. And then the bad is, just in any situation, right? In any professional situation, you are going to meet some people that are not necessarily going to align with your work ethics.
Mhm.
Like,
I
how
could.
do I say it kosherly? um, yeah, so that's like again, if some work ethics and your work values doesn't align with a company, it's time to move on, and you really have to be firm on that, or else again you'll be again put in that position where you're not happy and you're just like, what am I doing, right? You question yourself. Yeah, so that's just my advice for injectors that are interested in this industry, or the
Nice.
newer injectors. Yeah.
Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Awesome, awesome. So with social media, it's blowing up right now. How has it affected your career? How has it helped your business?
I am an older millennial. So I hate to say this, but I actually had to hire, well, my assistant last year was a Gen Z, and she really taught me a lot
Yeah.
as far as social media, because I am the worst. I am the worst. And this is my weakness. And I will admit, yes, I need to learn more. Um, but I think with that, like, ask for help. You can learn, and it's a big thing right now. It's a part of our culture. And use it properly. I think the best advice was I got from someone, was actually Dr. Kian Karimi.
Mhm.
He said, do not, what did he say? He said, don't over hype your before and after photos. Make sure it's realistic. So when patients come to you, they're not expecting, oh my God, like amazing glowing skin with just one syringe, right? Or whatever it is that you get. So
Yeah.
make sure it is realistic.
Mm.
Um, Not a lot of that fluff like filters and whatnot. Just be real, be genuine. So that's one thing I've learned.
Nice, nice.
Yeah.
What do you like most about this industry? What is keeps you coming back? Makes you the most excited?
I think just connecting with my patients, I've really become part of their lives. In being 15 years, I've actually, it's funny enough, the other day, a patient came in and she brought her daughter in who's like in her early 20s. And I'm like, okay, I remember meeting you. And, she was like in junior high or something.
Yeah.
It's just funny. You really build this rapport with people and relationships. And that's kind of fun to, be a part of their lives, and them as and me and their part of their lives too. A lot of people always tell me like, "Oh my gosh, I remember when you were pregnant," and I was like, "Oh, that was 7 years ago." So it just time really flies, and yeah, I again just having good relationships with people is what keeps me coming back. Um, Also, I would say this, it's really a good time to start in aesthetics. There's just so much resources available. And I feel like I'm learning every day. I'm learning all over again. So that kind of, it ignites my passion for this field, because I'm like, oh my God, I've been doing this for so long, and, just tweaking your technique a little bit, right? Or something that you pick up from someone. So that kind of keeps me coming back too. And it makes me, just evolve, just evolving as a better injector. I can serve my patients safely. And it's also, again, it's fun for me. it's fun for me. And then as a trainer too, I get to share that with other newer injectors that I come in contact with, that I meet. So that's fun for me too, is sharing, a little bit of tips and tricks with others. So that keeps me coming back.
Ideally, how much should an injector be training each year? Like, how much continuous education should you be doing each year?
Yeah, so I would recommend attending at least one conference a year. And it's also great because a lot of them, they do offer continuing education that you can use to renew your license. I attended Aesthetic Next last year in Dallas, and this year I am going to LAMCA in Beverly Hills, somewhere local. So yeah, if you haven't taken a cadaver class, I would say maybe take one every 2 years, really, just to kind of brush up on your skills. And I actually like webinars because I'm a note taker, so I'll like listen to webinars and I'll take notes and I'll just read it over. So those are fun too, but don't stop. Once you're in it, just keep going. And I think learning is just one of those things that we just have to keep doing.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
Being a trainer, how has that helped your career?
It's fun because since I've been in this industry a long time, the same story I told you earlier, where when I started, it was just like the reps would come in and train us on filler. They had no medical background. It was just like, so now it's really fun. It's so much has changed. And as a trainer, like sharing like certain experiences, like, oh, I had this occlusion, or this is what I did, and back then, like, I didn't even think we had Hylenex. It was just, again, it was the wild west. So just little things like that. And no one talked about like the facial artery and angular artery being right here, and everybody was injecting in the nasolabial folds. So yeah, just little things like that. It's as a trainer, like it's fun to share my experiences, and I just make it humorous. It's life is too short not to laugh, so I just it's yeah.
Now, one of the most requested questions I get is how they call me and they say, "Hi, Jonathan, how do I become a trainer? I really want to become a trainer." How can they?
Okay, that's a good question. So first of all, use their products. I think and as long as I've been injecting now, I think once you open your own business too, partner with someone again that the company has to, that aligns with your moral and ethical values. So and you have to love the product, right? That's the only way that you're going to be able to share your experience with someone, or your technique. And this is how I use this, specific brand for something. So, and just have good relationships with your reps, be visible. I attended a lot of just dinner meetings and just being around the industry, I guess. Yeah, that's one advice, or a few advice I can give to someone that wants to be a trainer.
So the networking aspect is super important.
Yes, for sure. You have to network and ask questions, learn. Yeah, again, it all comes down to learning. If they see you and they see that you're excited to use their products and whatnot, that's a positive. Put some points on your side.
Now, being in the industry for so long, I'm sure you have plenty of white glove service tips that you use to keep clients coming back. What are some things that can keep clients coming back?
I think, again, so this comes back to learning something new that the patients get excited. For example, I just started carrying the EasyGel PRF system in my office. So I'm like, oh my God, like I get to spin your blood and turn it into a filler and inject it back, right? So that's something that, offer something new, right? Don't be, again, going back to don't be stagnant. And patients, like, they love to hear stories, like what's going on, not just in my life, that, like, they're like, oh, I saw that you attended this conference. Like, what did you learn? It's like, so they're excited too to learn from you. So I think education is a key aspect. the patient, they have to trust you, right? And they see that, okay, you're investing in yourself in education, and they're like, okay, well, yeah, what else can I do? They always ask me, like, what did you learn? Is there anything new? Could be like the simplest thing, just recommending like a different type of moisturizer or something. Something that easy. So that's how you keep patients coming back. Good patient retention. My business actually, when you mentioned social media earlier, I still depend on word of mouth. So that's really how, I asked them, how did you hear about me? Well, so some of my newer patients would say, I heard it from this and that, or from, I would say that would be like actually still 70% of my business.
That's
But I
super
have
good.
to tap in. Yeah, I have to tap into that social media aspect.
I always say word of mouth is the best type of marketing because it
Yeah.
means that your work is good. Because no one's going to recommend someone that's doing bad work to them.
Yes.
Yes, no worries, no worries, no worries. Now, with being word of mouth, if you get a patient that maybe doesn't align with what your business aligns with, how do you kind of redirect them and say, hey, I'm not maybe the best fit for you?
I have turned away patients because I value safety. And if they come to me and, their anatomy is not ideal, like to get, for example, to get fillers, right? I find that it could be too, we really have to be mindful of this as injectors, to maybe address some mental health concerns, right? Their psyche, like I really understand them, like where are they coming from? And I think, again, educating them, maybe like, listen, your lips are really full and there's nothing that I can do today. If we add more, that could compress some of your blood supply to the lips. So just little things like that, maybe they don't understand or they don't know. Somebody has, and they either have a distortive type of, look that they don't understand, right? So just educating them and talking about just talking about anatomy. Like I have said, you know what, your blood supply is going to cut off if I put any more. Sometimes I just say it the way it is, and they're like, oh, okay, like, okay, let's just back up for a second. So
I like that.
Yeah,
being transparent.
Just transparent. And I don't really give patients more than what they need. I have turned them away, and if sometimes people come in, oh, I want my cheeks done. It's like, you know what, it's not time yet. Why don't we do a little something else, right? If they're looking to get a refresh. So just being honest and recommending the proper treatment. We are still in medicine. It's very clinical, even though we do fall in that gray area, right, of the service industry. But at the end of the day, it is patient safety first, always.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Sharon, I think you're.
Did you? Oh, sorry. Can you see me or no? Oh, there. Someone was calling. Okay.
Oh.
I decline. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna set you up. So tell us about your patients now. What are they asking for most in the California area?
Right now, so my demographics really, I would say late 20s to, I would say my oldest patient is like close to 80. So yeah. It's just a little bit of everything. Like I said, my motto is, how can I make my patients look and feel their best selves with, doing the proper treatment, but most impactful. It doesn't have to be like 10 million syringes, right? Or a ridiculous amount of dosaging for your toxin. I think, like, how can I make them look just fresh and well rested and just natural, right? I want you to look like yourselves, but better. I don't want you to look different. So this is what I tell them. In California, though, I would say like everybody just is looking for that youthful, just everyone wants to just look youthful. That was the word I was looking for. So anything that they can do, like natural, good skin, so that comes with, not just from injections and toxins, but also injectables and toxins, but also a little bit of, microneedling, or a little bit of PRF, infuse it back to your skin, some biostimulations, Sculptra, and I would say hyperdilute radius is a big thing right now, just to
Nice.
help support the collagen as we're aging. That really makes a difference in having healthy skin too, not just looking full and filled, but I think healthy skin is key.
Do you by chance do your own injectables?
I do.
Oh, it's always interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always
Yeah.
interesting because like most providers, they're like, I can't because I'm too nervous or I'm scared or I just can't in the mirror. So I always like to ask to see.
Although I have limits,
Yeah.
I don't do it all the time, but most of the time I do work by myself.
Okay.
So, yeah, if I have to, I have to, but I prefer to wait for a friend to come so we can
Nice,
inject each other. But if I have to, I could.
nice, nice. What are some trainings right now that are really great that providers can attend to learn more?
There's so many. Like I said, if someone hasn't attended a cadaver class in a long time, or not even at all, Dr. Stewart's Anatomy for Injections, I believe is what it's called, is amazing. I was lucky enough that I was able to do 2 years ago for the Trainer with Galderma. He was
Oh,
a
wow.
faculty for a cadaver lab, so I was just lucky. And there's just so many. Like there's Aesthetic Immersion with Lori Robertson and Dr. Kwok. You want to also, I think, what is value to you, right? So you want to go to someone that you're really going to learn. So pick and choose what you need. Just don't take a class because you saw an ad, or those weekend courses, or like that promises you oh, take our course and you can open your own office. It doesn't work that way. I think, again, put a value on that. Like, what do you need, right? Focus on your needs. Do you want to learn advanced things? Sometimes, like, just even if you've been injecting for a long time, maybe a little course review on toxins, is helpful. And again, always learn something new. So take what you can out of it. But there's so many out there that is available to us now. So there is no reason, there is no excuse. You should really be attending something.
Yes, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. What about conferences?
Well, I mentioned LAMCA at the end of March. I know the one in Vegas is really popular. I haven't been to that one. I'm also I plan to attend the ISPAN one, which is the International Society of Plastics and Aesthetic Injectors for Nurses. So we'll see how it goes. But Aesthetic Next was fun last year in Dallas. So
Awesome. And you're part of their board, correct?
No, I'm not actually.
No, you're not.
No, I wish. No, I'm
Oh,
not. No, I'm
oh,
not
okay.
part of their boards. No.
Okay. Okay.
I was just an
Awesome.
attendee.
Nice, nice, nice. Is there any key opinion leaders that are in the industry that you suggest for people to follow?
So that was actually one of your questions, and I'm glad that you're asking me this today. The ones that really made an impact to how I practice and is Dr. Oh my God, I just had his name. He's a plastic surgeon from Atlanta, and he was actually as a faculty for my cadaver class 3 years ago. Dr. Burke Robinson.
Ooh.
He changed the way I inject 3 years ago, and that was really helpful. He's big in that Atlanta, Georgia area.
Nice.
He's a plastic surgeon. And then another lady who is my favorite out of all times, they're they're not big KOLs, but I think these are the people that made really a difference in my career. Is Beth Donahue. She's based in LA. She used to be she was a former Merce trainer, but she's also now a Galderma trainer. She really, just the way she conducted her training back, I mean, it was just, she was really gifted. The way her delivery, her approach, and both teachers or trainers were very patient, and the way you explain things is really how I learned from them quite a bit. And that's also how I deliver my trainings now. Just take your time and understand what's going on. Just be mindful, be aware of the situation at hand. Yeah. So those are the two KOL, I believe, and they're not like those super popular ones that you see on stage all the time, but those are, I think, again, it was the most impactful to my career.
Nice. Well, thank you, Sharon, so much for sitting down with me, speaking more about the aesthetic industry. Tell everybody where they can find you and what you got planned next.
Well, thank you, Jonathan. It was a pleasure speaking with you. That was really fun. Well, I am Skin Sirens LA. I actually just updated my Instagram handle to Sharon the Skin Siren underscore. And I am in the downtown Los Angeles area. So if you guys are ever out here, come say hi. I'm open to having visitors.
Awesome.
Yeah, come say hi.
Awesome. And until next time, bye.
Thank you.